And a 3, and a 2, and a 1.
Inevitably incredible reviews. The 3.
Great start.
This is Jimmy's podcast, season 10 on the podcast. We coming back for more. I bet you never thought we'd last, and neither did we. Breaking news, show reviews, rubber boots, reactions, and other social media crap. And if nothing else, you know you're gonna have a laugh. You're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah, 'cause this is the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rubber Boots Podcast. Cuts continue. We have hired Puffy back.
Yeah, I'm back. I did listen to a little bit of the podcast last week.
Well, a little bit? Thank
yeah,
you.
and then I got bored. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to appear.
Something better on?
And I heard you guys firing me.
Sorry
I thought
about
Bump, we've reached a new low when Bump even's not like, I'm good. I tried to get him to come on. He's like,
Yeah, it was
I'm fine.
a little bit rough. Getting bumped by Bump. But he had his reasons.
Yeah.
He won't be allowed back on.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out. He's got to be out.
Until the Masters pod.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Just got back from vacation. Curacao. Have you guys been?
I have not.
No.
I highly recommend it. It's the ABCs. It's Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao.
Bonaire.
Bonaire. I think it's Bonaire.
Or maybe
Bonaire.
Bahamas, maybe.
No, Bahamas is way up.
Way up,
These
yeah.
three are like three islands that are all kind of, I don't know if they're all three different countries, but they're, I think, a bit related.
Close proximity to each other?
Yeah. And Aruba's like very Americanized, and Curacao is the Dutch. Bonaire, I'm not sure, but it's not as well traveled, I guess. And yeah, we had good. Kids swam with turtles, dolphins.
Now, did you stay at an all-inclusive?
No, we stayed at Tommy Coconut. Shout out to them; they're the best.
Okay.
They have about 6 or 7 units in this complex, and great location near Gentile Beach. And we rented a car and just drove around the country, and you can go one end to the other in about an hour.
Okay.
And traffic was not very good, so it's not that big an island. But
Now, do you drive on the other side of the road like Turks?
no,
or-
but there was definitely cars that had the wheel on the other side,
Oh, right.
Ooh, that's got to be
which I
more
think would be
confusing.
really confusing.
Right-hand
yeah.
drive. Yes, that
Yeah.
would be that'd be crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
Like
Thinking
I-
about going away, so.
Yeah. But yeah, good time. Everyone had fun.
Beautiful.
And I heard we missed some weather, so that's always
You did
nice.
miss some weather. It's crazy.
You did miss some weather, you missed some digging, buddy.
So where's Jimmy? That's the big question.
Well, that's the big question. We discussed this off mic a little bit,
Yeah.
but
By the way, my week was great. Thanks for asking.
well, look, Lester, we're not going to completely change the format here.
This is what we do.
Jimmy's not here. The podcast must still
doesn't
go
matter.
on. The podcast must go on. We will get to your week in a second. We were discussing that we believe Jimmy might be at the Super Bowl, but he might also be a little bit down the street at the waste management.
I think that's more. I think that was more the play. He even brought down another host with Car Waglin down there, so he doesn't even have to do any of the lifting.
Did he bring his clubs down?
I bet you the clubs made the bag for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I would
That's
guess.
interesting.
I would guess he's probably got a few rounds going down there. Although I don't know if that crew really golfs.
I don't think that bothers him.
No.
yeah, he
it
just
doesn't
go
matter.
himself.
It's not good.
He'll play 18 by himself, wouldn't he? Yeah. Or find somebody to go
yeah.
with.
Yeah, he would definitely do it. Maybe Jesse Palmer.
Alrighty.
Davis Sanchez, perhaps. You know?
How was your week, Lester?
My week was good, thank you. Enjoyed the pod with you guys last week. I ended up having a little cold towards the tail end of the weekend, which was a bit of a drag, but got through that. I'm fine. Here we go. All set. Thanks for asking.
Awesome.
Appreciate
So,
it.
as we said, Jimmy's away, but we will hear from Jimmy throughout the podcast. That's
always huge.
He has sent us some audio, some riveting interviews.
I'm sure Mahomes
Yes.
and Hurts,
Look, all the big names are
Kelsey,
there.
the Kelsey brothers. He got the Kelsey brothers.
Jimmy got very busy on media night. He was chasing down the names.
Yes.
And he got them. We got some fun What You Watchings coming up.
Oh,
with
very
some
good.
players. But we'll do some of our own stuff. And since we started out talking about you traveling, Jimmy's obviously traveled
Yeah.
down south to cover the game. So I came across this thing on Twitter.
Freaky pics, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Actually, our listener, David Carson, sent this to me, and it's in line with all the luggage stuff that's been happening. People losing their luggage, luggages being misplaced. But this story is really interesting because these two people initially lost their luggage in Montreal when they left, and they flew back to Toronto.
Yeah.
Now, they had the AirTag, much like Jimmy. They were able to track it the whole time. They saw that it sat in Montreal for 4 weeks.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Afterwards, they saw that it was being transported back to Etobicoke.
That's good.
That's good. They're thinking, hey, we're going to get our bag back, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, the AirTag starts showing that the luggages are at two separate residential locations.
Wow.
Air Canada is not giving them any answers at this point.
Yeah.
And so finally, when they investigate further, they get police involved because they can't find the luggage even though they're able to track it. They find out that Air Canada has donated their luggage.
Oh, that's pretty nice of them.
And hence, I would guess the residential area that the two pieces of luggage were in were likely the new owners of whatever those luggages contained. Now, I mean, this sounds insane, right? Like, how can... Like, I understand if stuff gets lost, they can't just keep it forever.
That's fair.
But if it's 4 months and these people are actively looking for it and they can find it where it is using the AirTags, and Air Canada obviously can find it because they found a way to donate it to someone else, Air Canada, what the hell's going on here?
I find this story appalling, as I'm sure many do. I feel that Air Canada has... Look, there was that one big storm we had, and there was a couple days, I think, before Christmas, that, the weather was a factor, and that's fine. But they are trying to do business as if nothing has changed. And the fact of the matter is they don't have the staff on the ground, and they sometimes don't have the staff in the air. So this seems to me like it was just... I don't know if there was some criminality involved. Maybe the bags was maybe it's something like when you have those... storage containers, and this is take this bag, buy, you know what I mean? Maybe it was sold, who knows? But it's terrible, and I think they really have to do something about this. But I am appalled for these people, and I hope they get their bags back. But,
Well, we flew Air Canada down to Curacao, and I could assure you that all trust with Air Canada and baggage is lost. Like, no one, everyone is doing carry-on. So they actually weren't going to let our flight take off unless people gate checked because they're like,
there's not enough room.
Yeah. And no one was like, I'm like, Tanya, and Shay was like, we are not doing it. And we checked one bag, and there's this no trust that as soon as we're off the plane, we go through customs, whatever, we get to the baggage, I'm just like, this isn't showing up. The
funny thing is, what you're saying is people used to avoid checking bags just to not have to wait after.
Yeah.
Now it's because you want to keep...
You don't want to lose your stuff.
You want to have your possessions
absolutely.
After.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
I have a friend of mine that just came back from Montreal. Same thing. Waited an hour and a half for her bag on the carousel. That's ridiculous.
So my sister-in-law was here for the holidays. She went back to Australia last week. And when we dropped her off, and this wasn't Air Canada... but the airline, basically, there was such a long line that they split the line in half and took a bunch of us to another part of the airport to check in. But that part didn't have the conveyor belt for the plane. So they asked you to bring your luggage after you checked it in, bring it back yourself. And we basically had to leave it in the middle of the terminal with a whole bunch of other luggages. No one's looking after these things.
Oh, my God.
And they're just standing there. And it's like, A, how are you guaranteed someone's actually going to put this on the plane? And B... You're always asked if you packed your own luggage, if it was unattended.
Massive security issue.
They're literally asking you to leave it unattended in the middle of an airport for hours. So whatever's going on there is a absolute disaster.
100%.
So
100%.
Something's got to change because the amounts you're paying for plane tickets now, you're going to be losing your possessions as well. Like it's nuts.
It's no way to travel. Definitely.
It's no way to travel.
No.
But Jimmy did it anyway.
No.
He's dangerous like that.
He is dangerous, and I believe it is time to check in with Jimmy.
Let's see what he's
on
up to.
The media day floor. James, how's it going down there?
Oh, hey guys, it's Jimmy. Live from the floor here at Media Night. It's mayhem. And it's probably my last appearance ever on the Rubber Boots pod.
Oh, wow.
Because of the inevitably incredible reviews the three of you are going to get from our 7 regular listeners.
We'll name them.
Anyway, a long-standing tradition on this pod, and by tradition I mean, as per usual, something that we do and then forget about, and then do again like 4 years later. This is the Super Bowl edition of What You Watchin'. Now, I'm not going to get Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts, okay?
Damn it.
I can't get near those guys. There's 1,000 people in here. But I'll find some other players, and I'll ask them some questions, including what they're watching. Let's see.
And we shall see.
Oh, wow.
How do you think?
That's
how
a
do you
good
think
tease.
The other players will feel about being other players.
We should do we should do a poll on what are the odds on Patrick Mahomes being one of the guests, or it's going to be like a backup center or something.
Well, I saw some content from Jimmy on Instagram this week, and he was in the media day, and he was saying that all the star players, Mahomes and whatnot, they have their own podium, but everybody else is kind of walking around.
I think that's
with
how
scrums.
kind of it is.
It's always always.
Yeah, I know that, and that's fine. But
Right,
it's just like,
the big guys have,
you know.
the head coach is usually the quarterbacks, and the star players. I assume both Kelseys probably have.
Yeah, they would get it.
Yeah.
Like I've done it for the Stanley Cup final, and it's always funny because they'll do like sort of two loops through the team, and so all the pretty much the top 15, 20 guys have their own podiums, and then there's like little tables in the middle with like three of the like the fourth line guys, and you always like no one's talking to them. They always feel bad for them. They have their little card, but like. But so I was surprised seeing some of the video from that media day that those guys were just walking around. They weren't even they didn't even have like a little setup that they could at least stand at or sit down at or something. They were just literally one of the mass of people. So that would have sucked for them.
Yeah, it does. Look, I understand they're stars and I get that, but you would think there'd be a little more respect for the other guys that are, blocking for these people. And
you got
and
53-man rosters. It's going to be hard to set up that many podiums.
Yeah.
At least Jimmy was able to, track some of these guys down.
Well, that's true.
Much like he did with the punter.
Oh, the punter was available.
Oh,
the Chiefs punter.
What a
No,
get.
Chiefs punter, not the Eagles punter.
No,
he's too
Tommy
busy.
Townsend. Let's take a listen.
Tommy Townsend, the punter for the Chiefs. First of all, you're the only guy in the game that hopes to play less, right? Is that weird?
Right, no. Especially in a game like this, I hope I have 0 punts,
But you want to get out there once or twice maybe, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope I get a lot of holds. A lot of extra points, you know what I mean? Couple field goals maybe, but a lot of touchdowns, a lot of extra points, so a lot of holds. But
that in some ways, the holder on a kick to win the game is the most underrated pressure position in sport, I would say.
Definitely. I think it's all perspective. It definitely is. I try to take the pressure off me. I try to take the pressure off myself just because, the operation of a field goal happens so fast. For me, it's just reacting, just catching, put down, and then obviously the kick's very important. So for me, it's just all about just focusing on just reacting, watching the ball in, putting it down, hitting the spot, and just letting the kick go from there. So
now the important stuff. We do a segment on the podcast called "What You Watchin'." Pretty simple. Super Bowl week, you got a lot of time to kill. Anything you're watching, Netflix, Apple, whatever.
Geez, so I'm obviously a big fan of Yellowstone, as many people are. But
a lot of cow shots lately, though, eh?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. I'm the type of Netflix watcher that binge watches, so I'm waiting for the whole season to come out before I start it. Okay. Because I'm not very good at watching an episode, sit and wait. So I kind of wait till everything comes out and then just binge it through.
Did you do White Lotus?
I've not done White Lotus.
Yeah. I've been trying to get my podcast crew to do White Lotus, and
is that a must?
Yeah, it's a must, but they're lazy. So
let's flip it. What are you watching?
I'm doing The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, it's HBO based on the computer game. You'd like it. It's kind of zombies and stuff, but it's cool.
For sure, I'll give that a go.
Best of luck on Sunday, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
I appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on. I take it back. Tommy Townsend was a good interview.
That was fun.
He was great. He sounded like a great guy.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive he's going to botch a snap now because Jimmy jinxed him.
Probably. You're probably right on that one. I'm also hoping for that.
Oh, my God.
For no particular
The
reason.
Jimmy jinx is coming through on Sunday. I wish I could bet on that. Will the punter?
I'm sure you can find us prop bet
Maybe,
somewhere.
yeah. I'm going to look.
Listen, apparently there's 50 million people are going to be gambling on this game in the U.S., apparently.
Jeez, that's like
Some
one
of us more than once.
Yeah.
I do like how Tommy at one point decided that this wasn't going anywhere, so he tried to
Yeah.
host the segment.
Yeah.
He's
That's
like, well,
great.
let me ask you a question.
Did a great job.
Yeah, we should have Tommy on every week.
He sounds to me like he could be a good broadcaster when he's done playing football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet you he's a good golfer, too. Punters have time.
Maybe we'll see.
That's a whole different thing. Punters and kickers, like
Yeah.
during practice, film sessions, like what are you even doing?
They just chill. They like when I've watched like the Hard Knocks, it's amazing. Like they're almost not on the team. Like in
Yeah.
some ways, it's like
Yeah.
they're just doing their own thing. Well, there's sometimes there was a great clip that went this year. It might have been a guy on the Chiefs. No, it couldn't have been the Chiefs because they'd know. But the guy didn't know the kicker's name.
Wow.
And then there are other guys on the team like, you don't know his name?
I always
It was so
remember
funny.
Peyton Manning going off on Mike Vanderjagt.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Our idiot kicker.
Our idiot kicker ran his mouth. Da, 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 da. It's like, oh, jeez. Because I always, you always knew that there was, sort of a distinction between the football players and the kickers. But that was really, really very
I do
evident.
feel like it's getting they're getting more respected. And I do think kickers are better athletes now than they were back
For
in the
sure.
day. Like I
guess that's true for most players, but yeah,
Yeah.
right. They're not just like, oh, I have to go out there and swing my leg
Yeah.
one time. They're actual athletes,
Yeah.
more so.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's a cool ride to be on, I think, as a punter or a kicker on a team.
Yeah.
You look at like Pat McAfee, a guy like that,
Yeah.
and now the show he has, like probably the best football show out there right now.
definitely one of the most popular.
Is that the same dude that was in WrestleMania?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Oh, okay.
Was he wearing a black tank top?
Yes, he was.
That's become his thing. And speaking of which, he also did do color commentary on the Pro Bowl.
Well,
And
okay.
he was still wearing said
Said tank top.
tank top, only with a nice jacket over it, which was a good touch. Did you guys take in the Pro Bowl at all?
I saw one event. I didn't even realize it was on. I didn't remember that they had changed the format, which I actually think was a good idea because it was unwatchable the other
Before
game.
it was, yeah.
And I saw it was like it looked like linemen, maybe offensive and defensive linemen, and they had to go like pull the weights off,
Yeah.
and then drag the like I don't know they dragged it basically.
Yeah, it's basically there was a I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah, that's why I was.
There's some sort of apparatus that
Yeah.
had a whole bunch of weights on the back, and the whole thing was that you had to pull that 10 yards together with your D lineman and O lineman.
Yeah.
It was AFC versus NFC. But the one caveat that I think the NFC thought of first before the AFC was you could pull the weights off and then the whole thing's lighter.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first race, one of the teams tried pulling it with it and it wouldn't move at all.
Oh.
And the other guys were just throwing the weights off and got across.
See,
quickly.
the one
So
I
there was a
saw,
bit of-
I must have saw the second race because the one I saw, they immediately all went and threw the weights into like a bin and then they
Yeah.
pulled. But so how were the events then? What were the
that
other
was
stuff?
that was one interesting one. I think that one was called Pull the Chains.
Yeah.
If I'm mistaken. There was Best Catch, which I don't know if you guys saw.
No.
That was Diggs against St. Brown. St. Brown won. It was a lot like the dunk contest. You had some failed attempts. You had It was a
Right.
cool idea, but it was weird because they pronounced it the final. They only had two guys doing it. They had them do 2 catches each. I think only 3 of the catches actually got executed. I think it's a smart idea. I think it could be something that really people gravitate towards, but you got to have more people competing and have it an actual competition.
Yeah.
Rather than just it's like here's these 2 guys that are going to
Was the quarterback throwing it or was it
So
a
Mike
Jugs
Vick
gun?
was the quarterback.
Mike Vick was? Oh,
Yes.
that's cool.
However, Diggs decided for one of them to bring in his brother to throw to him.
Okay.
And that was not a good decision. They had 4 attempts and they couldn't connect on a single one.
That sounds like something that's going to evolve.
I think so. I think that one there has some potential. So this was split up also on Thursday and on Sunday. On Thursday, they had a couple events that completely caught me by surprise. I just turned it on and they had dodgeball on. And in
Okay.
the end, I found dodgeball was the most, like, the coolest thing out of the stuff
Okay.
they did.
Sure.
I mean, first and foremost, you see the players, they don't have helmets on. You see a lot more personality. But yeah, just trying to see these guys knock each other out in the game. It's still being very competitive. And it was something on television-wise you can actually watch and understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So, going forward, I think that'll be big. That probably shouldn't be on a Thursday. Maybe they should probably do it on the Sunday night with the main stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then, of course, the main game was the flag football. Did you guys catch any of that?
No.
I
or-
didn't see any of that, unfortunately.
No, eh?
No.
I thought it's definitely a vast improvement on what the Pro Bowl was.
Good.
When you had guys wearing full equipment, not doing anything.
Yeah.
It was also pretty competitive from the two Mannings coaching the teams.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys never saw the end of the game where Peyton was incredibly upset. He thought that because Eli's team took a knee at the end,
Yeah.
he viewed that as a running play, which they weren't allowed to do at that point. And so he was going right after the referee as soon as the game ended.
Really?
Which kind of shows you that they did care who wins, and I guess, Peyton's probably a little more competitive of the two. But interviews with them, it made it a lot more fun. Guys being mic'd up made it a lot more fun. So just in general, I think it was a much better event. If you're going to have something like an All-Star game, it does have to be something like this.
That's good. And I think the NFL tends to have better personalities than, say, the NHL.
100%.
Because whenever the NHL tries to do something cool or fun, it just looks lame and boring.
We had the skills competition this week in the NHL as well, and I caught a bit of that. And the major take back that a lot of people had was it's uncool to try, so all of them just try to make it look like they're not trying, and hence nothing's going on.
Which is just brutal. Like I saw like Mitch Marner going in on a breakaway on Luongo, and he's like just half-assing it, and it's like, well, then don't even bother. Like, just don't bother, guys.
I don't want you to think. I don't want him to skate in there like he's trying to get out of the first round. But at the same time, give me a little something, But then again, it's Bobby Lou too. Yeah.
But it was for everything. It's for everything.
That's exactly it. And you're heading down that same road that the Pro Bowl was on, where you had guys showing up to just literally show up and enjoy the nice weather.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they'd almost be better not even doing a game and doing something like the Pro Bowl switch to. And just doing putting. I don't know if money motivates these guys or what motivates them.
I don't think it does, because how much money are you going to put up where they're all getting like $1 million extra? Like, what's really going to be motivating these guys?
Yeah.
I'll say this. I mean, I watched a little bit of the All-Star game, the NHL All-Star game, and I didn't think the games were so bad. But I didn't like.
Well, the 3-on-3 is actually pretty
good.
Cool. Having it as a tournament's a little weird.
Yeah,
because there's breaks in between games and stuff. But the skills is something as a kid I loved. I loved watching that stuff.
Yeah,
well, I'll say like my kids didn't watch at all.
No, it's watered
and
down.
they both play hockey and love like it's. So if you're losing, and then also it's like you have a skills competition and the Zegras isn't there. You know, and then there's also these guys who do like, I don't know if they use them at all, but they like do these trick shots and stuff that are actually unbelievable. But they're not. That's all they do.
They're not all-stars.
They're not all-stars. Like
that's like the whole dunk thing.
Yeah.
Like, should you be a all-star to be in the dunk contest, or should you just let the best dunkers?
Best dunkers.
Yeah, I think so. So the other thing you said about Zegras not being there, Josh Allen didn't go to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
but he did play in the PGA Pro-Am. Same weekend. Thoughts on that?
Well, I don't have any problem with that. Like, I think that.
Really?
I don't know.
He's a paid athlete in one sport. It's a celebration of their greatness. In a year where they're trying to relaunch the whole thing, he's one of the most popular players in the league.
Yeah.
He's a fun-loving guy. He'd have fun there probably. If you're going to sit it out due to a quote-unquote injury, don't show up on another major
Well, I mean, that's
like,
the offense for me. I mean,
like not going, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
When I flip the channel and I see you putting.
Yeah.
If you're a Bills fan who travel down there to take in the festivities in Vegas, hoping to see Allen, you see Diggs punt the best catch thing through the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, but my only thing is, maybe I'm just thinking just as for him, like maybe it's always his, like he loves golf and maybe he's like to play in a PGA Tour event. He'll have other opportunities for sure. But for sure, maybe he's just like my opportunity to do it.
I understand him wanting to do it. I get that. I just think it's not a great look for him. It's not a great look for the league.
I don't think it looks good for the organization.
When you're leaving for a better thing than what your league is doing, it's usually not.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Speaking of fair, Jimmy had a interview with one Kadarius Toney that he caught up with on the floor. Let's take a listen.
With Kadarius Toney, Chiefs wide receiver. First of all, is that like nickname, rap name? What is Joka? He's got the coolest, biggest silver chain I've ever seen around the neck.
Yeah, Joka, that's my rap name. I'm an artist outside of football.
Can you give me a little bit, or?
Nah, I ain't gonna give you nothing right now.
So we do this thing called What You Watchin', okay? It's a segment. Just ask the guys when they're sitting in their hotel room doing nothing, what are you watching? You watching something on Netflix? You just watching your own rap videos on YouTube? What do you got?
I'm gonna watch a movie. Probably, I don't know. I'm gonna watch a movie. I like Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible? You watch anything this week?
Nah, not this week. Nah, I've been locked in.
So you don't get in on the shows, that have like 9 seasons or anything like that?
Yeah, I get into a couple shows. I watch Snowfall, Power.
What do you like about Snowfall?
I like the storyline.
Give me a quick synopsis of the plot.
I really feel like it's really tricky because it's like, you can see it from different angles. You can see it from different ways, but...
Would you recommend it to me and my podcast friends?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you watch the Grammys the other night?
Nah.
No? Any chance we'll see you there sometime after your football career, Joker?
Hey, hopefully. Y'all run the screens up, I get there.
Congratulations and best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
There's some good chemistry between those two.
Let me tell you something. The absolute worst thing that you can do to any artist is ask them to sing their song on the spot.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
Yeah. Lester, will you sing for us right now?
Especially for a guy who's there to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. He's not a professional.
He actually says, I'm locked in, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have time for Jimmy's nonsense.
Does that concern you, Asaf, as an Eagles fan? He's saying he's locked in. He hasn't time for TV.
I mean, look, we haven't seen a whole lot of Kadarius Toney for the Chiefs this year, probably. I don't think he's going to be a huge part of that game plan, but he's a guy that, he does have those, video game moves.
Yeah.
I think he's had some off-field stuff. He's had some locker room issues with the Giants or whatnot, but if you get the ball in his hands, and this is why Andy Reid got him, he can be a real dynamic guy. So,
and sometimes those are the type of guys that show up in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Right? But we'll see.
He says he's locked in. Imagine that.
I think our pass defense for the Eagles is pretty good. I think we can...
It's going to be a
we'll
good
take
game.
care of Toney. I hope so. And I
boy.
think so.
Okay.
But as you said, Kadarius Toney is zoned in. Perhaps he's been sitting in the dark this whole time, thinking about the game, focusing. And that's pretty much how Aaron Rodgers plans on deciding his future. He will be going on a darkness retreat, which is basically where you sit in a small dark house for 4 nights alone in the pitch dark, and you do what is called sensory deprivation isolation. I guess it allows you to open up your mind even more and to make grand decisions. Aaron Rodgers has said that his closest friends have done this and have benefited
insanely. Hold on a second.
Wow.
Which closest friends?
I mean, you got to imagine the circle that Rodgers runs with.
Everyone's doing it. Everyone has 4 days to just go and sit in a dark room and do nothing. Yeah. I'm sure he's hanging around with a lot of parents.
Wow.
So, thoughts on that? Do you think there's actually something you can benefit from that, and would you ever try it yourself?
There's zero chance I'd ever try it. But I do think that, there's benefits. I think people won't. I've never done it, but it's getting to, go to retreats or, kind of your own time and stuff. But
it sounds very spiritually inviting for sure. If you had the time, exactly. If you had the time to do it, and then I think there's something to be said for taking that time to just chill and get into his own. Personally, I'm at the beach or by the pool at a resort just chilling, right? But to take it to another level, yeah.
So say Bell Media gave us all 4 days.
It would never happen.
To 4 paid days a year to go away to a retreat where you sit in a dark room and think about your life. How many people in this building would take them up on it?
I think you'd be surprised at the number.
I think some people would. I don't know if I wouldn't out of curiosity. My only thing is this, it's pitch dark, you're sitting there, you're alone, and you hear a creak. Those are the things I think that would keep me from fully diving into this thing is just how secure do you feel when you're just sitting there in the dark?
Well, me not secure at all.
Wouldn't your mind take over in terms of other things as well?
Maybe. I think that maybe not 4 days, maybe 2 days. I would try it and see.
What if you go completely batshit crazy 2 days in? Is there someone there observing you?
To pull you out of it? I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
We should do a podcast retreat. This time let's go to the county and we'll play golf for 4 days.
Oh no. No, well, I would try it if to your hypothetical, Puff.
You would try it
2 days, yeah. I'd try it.
I would, but to you, I don't think I go for the full 4 days.
Are people that desperate to get out of work? Get me out of here.
These are paid days, yes.
4 paid days, mental health on your own. I don't know. I don't think I'd do it.
I could see James doing this.
Well, he did go to a yoga retreat in Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's
basically,
right.
it would have been the same.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
much.
can see Jimmy doing that.
Yoga
Of course, he'd have to be able to take his club so he could golf after.
Yeah, he'd be
thinking on a swing.
doing
Thinking on a swing. Thinking on a swing. How can I get better?
Well, that's basically what he did during COVID when he was at Edmonton in the hotel room and they were doing quarantine. He was just basically hitting golf balls in there.
Yeah, I bet you he's thinking about post broadcast and the senior tour.
Well, let's find out what Jimmy has to say.
Yes.
Well, let us find very good throw, Puffy.
Yes.
As Jimmy is currently standing by with Chiefs offensive lineman Lucas Niang.
All right, let's see who we got here. Oh, it's Chiefs offensive lineman Lucas Niang. A lot of downtime, Super Bowl week. We have a segment called What You Watchin'. Are you watching anything right now?
Atlanta. I'm watching Atlanta right now on Hulu, I think by Donald Glover.
Terrific show. I watched season 1. Well, are you caught up?
I'm
or
on
what?
season 3 right now. Yup. Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm a couple episodes behind.
What's going on in season 3?
I'm at the start of the season, so they're taking trips with his manager around the world, meeting all kinds of interesting people, getting into all types of business.
Highly recommend to my podcast staff.
Very, very interesting. It's a very different TV show. It's very real at some points, but it's always funny.
Anything else you're into?
What else did I watch? Please?
Did you do White Lotus? I'm trying to get Puffy on my podcast to watch White Lotus, but he's too slow.
A couple of my teammates have been saying White Lotus. I got to give it a try, but I've been hearing good things.
Take care of the Super Bowl first, get a ring, and then you go watch White Lotus.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Thank you, my friend.
Yep, no problem.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
All the best.
Is Jimmy have stock in White Lotus or something? He's pushing this.
He must. I think he must. I guess he really enjoyed the show. I did as well. I'm sure we'll get that.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
You guys have watched the whole thing, both
You
seasons?
still haven't finished it.
No, I'm that's 3 or 4 seasons in. I've actually moved on to Emily in Paris.
So you're three or four episodes into season 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just
Just watch the first season to the end because it progressively builds.
It does.
Okay.
It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the other one, I actually started another show. Oh, well, House of Cards.
Oh, House of Cards is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very good.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, is it going to be okay?
I wouldn't get too attached to that character.
It's a good character.
You're right.
So he said Atlanta. You guys watch Atlanta at all?
I haven't seen it, no. But I like Donald Glover.
I do too. I watched a bit of the first season, but then this was you couldn't find it streaming back then and stuff, so I kind of just fell off. But something I probably want to pick up on.
Yeah.
Pretty good show. Speaking of good shows or people expected to put on a good show, Tony Romo. Just a couple of years ago, I'm sure you guys will remember.
He was the belle of the ball.
The belle of the ball before every single play. This is a run left. This is a run right. He's checking down to this. He's doing that. He could literally predict plays on the run. So CBS went and gave him a contract for, I think, $17 million a year.
A lot of money.
Quite a big deal. One would venture it still is. However, in the past 2 seasons, especially over the last season, a lot of people have noticed that Tony's not doing that much of that anymore, and his comments are a little bit more vague, maybe not as focused.
Yeah.
A lot more is just personality-based rather than actual game knowledge. A lot of people think he's just not doing the prep, and then, a story broke that CBS actually in the offseason had an intervention with him, which is an odd way to phrase it, but basically they sat him down and, tried to get him to refocus, ask him, hey, what's going on here? Why are you struggling like this? To Romo's credit, he did respond in an interview with Awful Announcing.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it's a website that calls out usually people for their awful announcing,
Yeah.
so I guess he decided to just face the music. And he said, you're always trying to do the right thing. At the core, there are just more people who feel like they're telling me how I'm doing. I have people coming up to me on the street far more than my first couple of years. So that's pretty crazy that people are actually coming up to him on the street to give him reviews. He goes on to say that basically you can't please everybody, and after having so much high praise that the bar to live up to is much higher, and then there's some people that he's just not going to do what they like. So he did kind of own it, but he also didn't really admit to falling off or anything like that.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? I mean, first and foremost, did you guys notice yourselves that?
I actually did notice it this year that he wasn't as entertaining. Like, it was not, I didn't feel I was learning watching him. some of it, what he's saying is true. Like, the bigger you get, the longer you're around, people are going to praise you at first. You're going to get the hate later. Like, even like Chris Collinsworth, who I always thought was the best, he seems like he's fallen off because he's, you just, when you get him every week for years, you start to find the holes more than the good stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing that's been interesting for me this year is that I've never been a huge Joe Buck and Troy Aikman fan. And I actually thought Aikman was sort of not really doing much. Like, I thought he'd sort of mailed it in. And I feel like they've been really good this year. And that Aikman's been more engaged and more, like, figured it out again. So there's always hope for guys to, like, this is probably good for Romo to have a little bit of criticism that he's not, like, when you first leave the game, you don't even have to work at it because you know everything.
Yeah.
But once the game changes so fast, and if you don't keep up with it, then you're a dinosaur. And I think that's what was impressive to me about Collinsworth is he did seem to keep up with it. And Romo's going to have to work at it as the years go on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I applaud him for facing the music as directly as he did. Listen, I think to what Pup was saying, as you get out there, you're out of the gate, you're fresh. Everything is new and exciting and everything. But I guess you fall into a little bit of habits, whatnot. But also, listen, as Pup also said, he's further away from the game, so maybe that that insight is a little bit lost on him. But I don't watch a lot of football, but he stuck out to me for sure, and I thought he was a great analyst. In fact, he was so good, I wondered why he wasn't successful as a quarterback.
Yeah.
And because
he was successable. I mean, he had a good career.
Successful, but
he didn't. But maybe he didn't work hard enough. Like, he's talented.
Maybe the focus
wasn't there.
Maybe because of Jessica Simpson, you mean? Was that he was the one?
He was dating her at one point.
That was the Jessica Simpson. That was when they went away during the bye week. I believe was the big controversy.
Did you hear the Jessica Simpson story about her hooking up with a super famous movie star on the sly when he was married?
No.
She had a book or something coming out, and she told that story. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who it is. I think it was.
It's not easy to figure out.
No, because it's like a major movie star, but he's married.
So
Could be anybody.
She just ruined a couple lives.
Could be anybody,
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the Romo thing's odd. I mean, there was comments this year I just remember he'd make, and it was just like, Tony, what are you talking about? And then, like, the podcast, and people started kind of picking up on it, and I guess CBS felt the need to say something because they paid all this money. It's kind of odd that got out, though.
Yeah, it must have been leaked by CBS. Must have been one of them people.
Could be.
So now,
lots of ways to get guys.
If you're Fox now and you just gave Brady a deal that when he starts, he'll be making $37.5 million a year. So that's more than double what Toney is. Are you nervous at all that because they signed him for a 10-year deal? Like, that's going to be money, you think?
Yeah, he's good. I would be shocked if he's not good. The only thing, he might be a bit bored. Like, I don't know if he's got the personality. His football off the hop's going to be unbelievable.
He's their number one analyst.
And I think he'll work at it. Like, I think he'll actually
want to be the best.
He'll want to be the best. Like, he's the fuck, like, he's nuts competitive wise.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he is.
And
he is. And I think he looks at right now, the guy who he competed with for a long time, and Peyton Manning, what the Mannings are able to do with Monday Night Football, how respected they are in the media, but also how they're looked upon as fun, as a commodity people.
They're amazing. They're the best.
Oh yeah, that Monday Night Football.
I watched that, and I enjoyed the Buck and Aikman calls, but I would watch them.
No, Manning cast anytime.
It was really good.
For Tom Brady, it's just an unbelievable, incredible opportunity for him to reinvent himself. Because I don't know about. I mean, again, I'm not a big football fan, but I've always found Tom Brady didn't have much personality, in my opinion. Right. So for now, an opportunity for him. Okay, he's not playing anymore. Hopefully, he'll be a little more relaxed. And he'll be able to, have his personality come
I just
up.
don't know if he has that in him, though. I don't know if that's his personality.
We'll see.
Definitely tried, in past years, he's made cameos in shows. He's tried to show more of a funny side. It's just when he does, especially when he's Instagrams and stuff, and he's trying to be funny, it still comes off as someone, like, trying rather than...
Yeah, he's not as natural as Manning. Both of them. Eli's great, too.
Eli's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Eli's actually better in some ways,
that skit they did on Saturday Night Live when they're training the guys, you're an idiot. You shot the ball.
The kids.
Oh my God! Come on, man.
But I think he's going to be really good. But he's going to need a good. I don't know who the play-by-play guy is going to be for him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting
because they need a good play-by-play guy with him, just at least early on to set him up. But did I read it right? He's not doing it until 24.
Yeah, so he won't start the fall of this year. He'll start.
So he's going to take a year off.
He's taking a year off. I'm wondering if that's maybe for some family stuff. Probably.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we sat through all these Chiefs guys. It was pretty awful. But now we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Okay. Who we got?
James Bradberry.
Oh, nice.
From the Eagles.
He's a good
Standing
player.
by with James. Let's have a listen.
All right, Eagles. There's defensive back James Bradberry, who had a big pick earlier in the season against, I think, the Lions, and maybe one against the Giants, who cut him in the offseason. I do research. What you watching? So all I want to know, Super Bowl week, you got a lot of downtime, you're stuck in your hotel. What are you watching right now? You got a show?
Right now, I do not have a show. I'm a big YouTuber. I get on YouTube quite a bit. I watch DJ Vlad. Watch a lot of Charleston White.
Have you watched anything recently, Netflix or anything like that?
I have. Let me think. The last movie I watched on Netflix was Conjuring.
Conjuring, scary.
I love scary movies.
Do you get scared?
Every now and then. You know, typically those are the really good scary movies. If you can scare me, those are the ones I like a lot.
What's your favorite?
Conjuring 2, right now, my favorite.
Okay, I haven't seen Conjuring 2. Give me a synopsis.
Ooh, the synopsis. Pretty much a evil spirit takes over the body of a little girl, I believe. And, I mean, anytime you got an evil spirit that takes over the body, bad things happen after that. So they work their hardest, the priest and his wife, to pretty much get this spirit out of the said girl's body.
Very nice. My producer, Stoff, he doesn't watch movies. He just reads them on Wikipedia. So he'll have to look that one up. Do you watch it with your girl? You know?
I watch it with my girl. I watch it by myself.
You get scared when you watch it alone? Big tough guy like you?
No, I actually like watching it by myself because then typically my girl gets scared when we watch a scary movie. So I enjoy watching it by myself.
Best of luck in the Super Bowl. Thanks for participating, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. James sounds cool.
I'm just shocked he didn't ask him if he's watched The White Lotus.
I guess it's not in the same theme as Conjuring. You guys like the scary movies at all?
No, not really.
I don't because I'm a scaredy cat. Like I get too scared.
You know what?
I
like the idea of them.
I can sit through it if it's a really good plot and concept. Although I don't really enjoy the scary part of it.
But I like
like the ones
Scream.
that are just made for just to scare you the entire time. I'm probably The Conjuring. My other thing is too, like anything where there's a child possessed. Or something, I don't want that. Like,
I don't like the thought of the nightmare and the the whole bit for sure. That stuff stays with me. I agree.
He also had no reaction to me reading movies on Wikipedia.
No, zero.
James expected him to go off on that. Not quite.
That's awesome.
Now, every year with the Super Bowl, the big deal is the commercials. Now, last year's Super Bowl was nicknamed the Crypto Bowl because of all the crypto. You had Larry David. You had pretty much every other commercial.
Tom Brady, didn't he have one too? I thought he was involved in
Probably.
it. Him and Giselle.
I wouldn't be surprised. They had something, didn't that? Like either
the guy who
bankrupt or it was a scam.
The guy who got arrested, they were buddies with him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was Larry David was in that one too.
They were sued. As well.
Yeah, that is correct. So basically, you had the crash of crypto. You had some people go to jail, and it's no crypto this year. It's back to good old-fashioned liquor.
Awesome. Well, liquor never goes away.
Liquor never goes away.
It's always there for you when you know what I mean.
We covered all this crypto stuff. Are you guys at all surprised that bubble burst? Or it seems to have burst?
I am not surprised at all.
Yeah, I never really understood it.
Yeah, that might be also why. I think a lot of people who invested probably didn't understand it.
A lot of people made money. Like there's people that short term really did well on it.
Well, what it always seemed to me is like, in order for you to make money, more people have to continue to buy in.
Yeah. It seemed like a Ponzi scheme.
There's a finite amount of it. It seems very Ponzi scheme.
Would you feel bad about making like $100 million, but in a Ponzi scheme, but not a Ponzi scheme that you created? Like say you were...
You went into it,
and then you cashed out, and you were like the first one to cash out. Like you didn't want to get too greedy, and you took your $100 million and you left, and then it turns out it was like a total scam. And it's like, ooh.
I'd feel terrible.
You'd feel terrible.
I'd feel terrible. I don't know if
Would you give your $100 million? Like, would you pay out to the people who lost their money?
You know what? I'm the type of person I would definitely find some people that really got hammered hard. People, quite frankly, who didn't have the money to invest in the first place, and at least give them their money back. If I could do that.
The only issue is though, like, people have lost way more money than you would have ever made, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you'd be giving it. Like, would you give basically the entire $100 million away? To
No. No.
I would keep like 95 of it.
No. I wouldn't. I mean, listen. I shouldn't say that. I mean,
how much of $100 million would you give away?
I would honestly. I could see myself giving away $75 million.
Yeah, I do 80. I'm going to one up.
Look at you two. Look at you two.
Look. I mean, here's the thing. What do I need to do? Like, honestly, what do I need with $100 million? If I invest $25 million properly, it's fine. You know, $100 million. I got to cook it wrong. I mean, I know it sounds silly or maybe far fetched.
Yeah.
But I personally have never really been concerned with money. I'm a true Pisces.
Yeah.
I don't really care about money, but I like having it. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's my thing. Right.
Oh, it's James Duffy.
Has another.
James Duffy calling in.
Oh, hang on.
Oh boy. Put him on speaker.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Rubber Boots podcast.
This is the Rubber Boots podcast. We're recording.
Oh, a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, nice.
Are there any giveaways today?
There is 0 giveaways today.
We're giving away the spot as a host.
We actually had a question. If you were involved,
What about Lester's innocence? Is that being given away?
that was sold a long time ago.
What are you guys taping right now?
Yeah, we're taping right now.
Oh, am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
So listen to this hypothetical.
It's going to get edited out.
How's it going? Is it going well?
Yeah, it's going very well. The awkward silence is over/under has been hit, but
we'll tighten it up in post.
I just had a thought because your producer didn't answer me when I texted him. I was going to do a short little interview with Luke Willson.
Okay.
Today that maybe you could insert into the podcast. So maybe you want to throw to that. Maybe you could throw to that a little bit later on in your show. Okay.
Perfect. Are you going to ask about the
James Duffy with Luke Willson? Yeah, that's all you have to say.
Awesome.
How should we react?
Super Bowl champion Luke Willson.
How do you want us to react off the end?
Oh yeah, because you won't hear the interview.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm gonna tape it out. Just say that was an awesome interview. James is amazing. Something like that.
I can't believe he didn't ask him about White Lotus.
Oh, have you run any of my?
Yes.
You've watched it yet?
Yes.
Yes.
They've been amazing. My favorite was the punter. He was really good, actually. Tommy Townsend.
Tommy Townsend, yeah.
When he drops the snap, it's going to be amazing. He jinxed him so bad.
I know.
He's not going to sleep all week.
Somewhere in that group of what you're watching people, there's an MVP waiting to happen in there.
I think it is.
Wouldn't that be something?
Now, are you currently? What hole are you on right now? Are you on the back nine of the course you're playing?
I played 15 holes yesterday with Kara Waglin.
Nice.
And Claire Hanna.
Okay.
Call her Hannah Claire. Claire Hanna.
Nice.
What a bundle of joy Claire Hanna is. I want to say that.
Well,
if you ever need your golf game to feel better, you golf Claire Hanna, because no matter how you hit it, she goes, "Wow, way to go!" It's amazing. Like you hit it left into the lake on like a 150-yard hook. Wow, amazing! It's amazing. And then I played, and Claire Hanna was a national volleyball team member.
Yeah.
We played with her best friend, who was another national volleyball team member.
Okay.
So let's just say I was the shortest one in the group.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you get back to the show, guys. Thanks
Hold
for
on.
Really appreciate it.
Hold on, though. Jimmy, can you hear me? Your buddy Lester. Okay, so we were just discussing a hypothetical.
How many times you tell me to F off today on the
show? There's one coming up. Trust me. We had a hypothetical. You through a cryptocurrency scam that you weren't aware of, you accumulate $100 million, right? And then you find out it was a Ponzi scheme. How much of that money, if any, would you give back to victims of the Ponzi scheme?
Oh, so sorry. I got the money. I wasn't the one who did the.
No, you weren't in charge of it. Yeah.
Beneficiary.
Yes,
correct. Beneficiary is a great word.
I think I might be involved in one of those right now.
Answer honestly.
I would give money to charity because I feel like the victims of the Ponzi scheme are having been a victim of things very similar to Ponzi schemes in numerous of my investments. I feel like you are somewhat to blame for that.
Okay.
I watched the Bernie Madoff thing on Netflix, and I think part of Ponzi schemes is greed, right? When you're getting these ridiculous returns and you don't ask questions, then it's probably because you're greedy. And so, I think that I would give the money to worthy charities instead of the people who've been suckered into it.
So all 100 million. That's really nice of you.
No. I said only 5 of the 100 million.
5 of Lucky for you, I said I'm going to say 98.5 would be going with me. So.
Well, the other thing is the 5 million charities might be trust funds for my children. Gentlemen, I'll let you go. Thank you for everything. My interview with Luke Willson is just ahead on the show.
Oh, perfect. Can't wait. Hit it straight, buddy.
Okay, buddy. Bye.
Wow. Victim shaming.
Yes.
Wow.
James, not the victim shamer.
That's an interesting
I've
take.
never heard that take. The Ponzi scheme victims are the real criminals in this. Their greed was deservedly
Their
punished.
greed drove everything up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true to that's true to a certain extent, but there's also people that said,
in his spot, then he's also just as greedy. He's just the only lucky one that got rewarded for it.
I did see James at a free Bernie rally.
Madoff. Yeah.
I could see that.
Oh God, that was good.
Since the Super Bowl's going all in on liquor, I figured I'd pull this story from things I saw on Twitter.
Nice.
Now, actually, this is a story from a couple years ago. That's when it started. And I remember hearing about this because Daniela Leiss, who's 26 years old at the time, was driving home from Budweiser Gardens in London, Ontario in 2019 when she crashed into a house and caused an explosion that then damaged 4 different homes.
Wow.
I remember seeing this on the news, but I never knew the actual story behind it. So what happened is she got really hammered at this music festival. I believe it was a Marilyn Manson show.
Oh
boy.
And basically, she got hammered, hopped in her car, drove home, drove off the road, drove into a house, caused an explosion where I guess the gas line went, and it caused damages to 4 other houses. 7 people were injured.
Oh, wow.
The damage caused was estimated between $10 million to $15 million.
Holy.
She did 3 years in prison, obviously, for impaired driving. Now, here's the twist. Her and her father are now suing Ovations Ontario Food Services, the company that held the concert and served her booze. They're claiming that the company shares liability for the explosion because it kicked her out of the venue for being too drunk, I presume, without trying to prevent her from driving home.
Oh, they should have.
It also alleges the venue served while knowing she was intoxicated. Now, that's like an old one that a venue should know to cut you off and stuff. I always find that that's a very hard rule to put a hard, fast line by because how can you?
Yeah, everybody shows their alcohol level differently.
For sure.
Yeah, of course.
People are absolutely hammered and walk straight as an arrow, right?
You're at a concert with thousands of people.
Yeah,
how can 5-6 bartenders keep tabs on everything?
And also, the bartenders aren't making enough money that they
to be giving her
to
crap.
to be the one who has to be like, no, sir, you're done for the night, and then risk them punching them in the face.
That's exactly it. You're now telling an intoxicated person what they can do.
Exactly.
So, maybe we need more security. Hey, maybe we need people in the parking lots trying to prevent people from, drinking and driving. At the same time, this person clearly went here with the idea that she's going to get hammered at the show.
Yeah.
She drove there, so she did not plan for a different ride home.
No, she did not.
No.
I mean,
listen,
I don't like her chances of winning, said
she
lawsuit.
better not win. This would be the worst thing ever if she won, because then any other drunk driver could be like,
the
well,
precedent
it's
that you would
Molson's fault.
set
That's exactly it.
is absolutely inexcusable.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, the only thing I will say is I do see something to be said. Like, if I come to your house, Stoff, and I'm hammered, and I go and drive on the highway and get hurt or kill somebody, they'll actually come and charge you, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think I don't agree with that. I don't think you should be charged though. You should be liable. It's like the person. Like I don't know. I've drank and gotten drunk a lot of times. I've always known what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like it's like I'm like, oh my god. Like I might have done stupid things, but like I've been aware I was doing stupid things. And it was on me the consequences of my actions. I don't like the fact that as a host that they have to be responsible.
I mean, I could see. Listen, I totally agree with you guys, but I do wonder if there might be there might be something for that. They might be able to be successful. If they are, I would be disappointed, but I could see it happening. But I will say this as well. This person spent 3 years in jail. So in those 3 years, you haven't come to terms with the fact that you made a mistake. Yeah. That's what bothers me more than anything.
And her father said, listen, you made the mistake here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're supporting that they were taken advantage of. That's ridiculous.
And that's, to me, that honestly, that illustrates one of the biggest problems I believe in society right now. Is there's far too many people that don't want to take responsibility
for their actions.
100%. You know?
Yes.
The looper looped it best.
The looper did.
Oh, thank you.
Now,
next.
Give him more.
What we got
He's
here?
on a roll.
Do we have anything from any more Eagles stuff?
I do believe James, who we just heard from, is standing by with Reed Blankenship.
Nice.
Let's take a listen.
I'm guessing Stoff is fully erect by now.
Correct.
Imagine being a rookie at the Super Bowl. Gonna go say hi to Eagles rookie safety, Reed Blankenship. First time at the Super Bowl. What a rookie year to get to the Super Bowl. Isn't it amazing? Also, first time on Watchin, which I know is a huge thrill for you. You're home, maybe in your hotel room, a lot of downtime this week. Off week before this, you watching anything?
I've actually been watching the new show, The Last of Us, on HBO. Yeah, HBO Max. I guess I played the game. It's based on a video game, so I play a lot of video games. And just seeing that, like how it correlates. I love how, there's TV shows that correlate with video games. It's really cool. So that's what I've been watching here lately.
Me too. I didn't watch episode 4 because my wife makes me watch it with her, so I missed it. You watched it last night?
I haven't.
I want no spoilers.
Yeah, please no.
But do you like it? Do you think it holds up pretty well, right?
It does hold up pretty. I love the cast too. One of the main characters that plays Joel, he's in The Mandalorian. I'm a big Star Wars guy too. So
this guy's good.
Like I said, he's one of my favorite characters and favorite actors. So
he was in Narcos too.
Narcos, yeah. See, he's really good. So
listen, best of luck to you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
I like that he's not jinxing the Eagles so far.
Yeah.
No,
I'm like that.
Definitely.
He's not like you're gonna shut down those receivers tomorrow.
Pedro Pascal, by the way, is the name of that actor.
Yeah. I'm a big Star Wars guy too, so.
Very good.
Are you? Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Mandalorian is amazing.
He's awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet of someone saying Mandalorian's like the best thing Star Wars has done.
It might have saved
you
it.
guys say that?
It might have saved
Listen,
it.
I'll tell you, yeah.
Like even compared to the way back.
Oh well, the original trilogy is
Classics, I
amazing,
guess?
but it's really good.
I think Mandalorian. I believe it's Favreau.
John Favreau,
who directed
and Dave Filoni, I think his name is. They're the two guys that have sort of pushed it.
And honestly, to me, it's the two seasons so far. Kenobi, even the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
it's all really brought Star Wars back to where it should be. I think unfortunately with Disney, and I'm not saying the last. I mean, I didn't like the Force Awakens was great. I didn't like The Last Jedi, and then The Rise of Skywalker I thought was decent.
Yeah, I feel the same as you on those.
Yeah. But these last three things in particular, I believe there's another one, Andor.
I haven't watched. I've only watched one episode so far.
I haven't seen Andor either, but apparently that's excellent as well.
Yeah, and it's also a little bit more adult, I guess, The Mandalorian than
a lot of Wookiees having sex.
Yeah.
that is the music.
Did you ever see that? It's on like TikTok or Twitter, but I guess this woman's complaining about her ex-boyfriend. I guess he posted a thing that's saying like, it turns me on for someone to call me and speak to me as like a Wookiee. And so she kept getting these crank calls.
Yes, I did see that.
Guys like,
I did see that.
It's like, he's so immature. I'm like, that's so amazing.
That is quite good.
Oh my God! Yes,
indeed. Now, back to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but staying with shows and scripts, if you will, and TikTok, of course, because this did originate on TikTok. How people believe that the Super Bowl script for this Sunday had leaked, and there was I believe it's actually a Wikipedia entry that's, I guess, superimposed or whatnot. But it says the Eagles win 37-34. It has the quarter breakdown, so they were trailing 24-13 at the half. The entire game will take 3 hours and 37 minutes, apparently.
Yeah.
Is this real?
Well, there was some. I'm trying to remember the player.
I know you're talking about
something. It just came out that said,
there
that
was a script
the
for the
NFL
season.
scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing with that is I'm pretty sure if we're talking about the same thing, he was being very sarcastic about it.
Oh, he was?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was saying, it's all scripted. We're told to do this in this minute.
That's
this
what we
minute,
practice
do this,
all
this
week.
Is what we yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we practice.
yeah.
We don't practice the game plan. We practice the
Just the
script. all
script.
week. He was being facetious, I'm pretty
okay.
sure. Because after the... a
Har-
lot of the Bengals
Hamlin.
fans feeling a certain way about how that happened. I think basically they feel that the NFL is either against them or that it's scripted in some way.
Yeah.
That everyone wants the Chiefs at this Super Bowl. I don't know.
Look,
I feel like that kind of happens every year. It's funny that this thing came out.
I think it's.
But there was something I saw where it had all the predictions of the Super Bowl winners. This last 10, the guy's been right. He posted it in 2015 or something, and he's nailed every one.
Yeah, but how many accounts does that guy have where he was picking one or the
That's
other
fair.
and had to cancel the account?
You know what's unfortunate about all this is the line between what's real and what's fake is so blurred now. Not blurred, but I mean it's just harder because technology.
I mean, if this game plays out, whatever way it plays out, and the final score is 37-34, that's pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
I think I'm going to bet that as the score.
It is right now the most predicted score.
I think I'm going to bet it.
Simply
just
because it is.
All right.
Why be on the outside looking in, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's all get rich.
Wish
That's
we
what
had-
Vegas wants.
Yes, no doubt.
See, Jimmy's going to put his bet in and he's going to win the $100 million.
I'd rather
We're all
be an
gonna lose.
insider than an outsider.
Yeah.
Ooh, you put that one on a T for me.
Yes, I did.
Now to James with Luke. No. James did manage to catch up with one NFL insider, Adam Schefter.
Wow, that's a
for
get.
a epic What You Watchin'. Let's hear what he had to say.
With Adam Schefter, number one insider in the world, we do a thing on our football podcast called What You Watchin'. Do you have any downtime in your room? What are you watching right now?
Your Honor on Showtime. Great series.
Season 2?
Awesome.
Is it good?
Fantastic.
What episode we in?
3 or 4?
Bryan Cranston nails it again?
Fantastic, intense, dramatic. Watch the first season, watch the second season, and when you get done with that, then you can watch White Lotus on HBO Max.
I'm trying to get my boys to watch White Lotus. I've done it. It's fantastic.
How old are your boys?
No, I mean the guys on the podcast. They're a little lazy. It's the best.
Boys, get with the frickin' program.
Chef, thank you.
You got it.
Right from Schefter. Finish White Lotus, you lazy ass. And then the homework for the rest of you. Your Honor. Seasons 1 and 2. That's it from here. Thanks for having me on your podcast. Best of luck in the future with your new host, Bump.
Adam Schefter might have saved this podcast.
That's hilarious.
He brought everything together. The White Lotus without Jimmy impromptu. Jimmy was so stunned he didn't know what to do. He was so excited.
Who's got the boner now?
Oh yeah, that was the best thing for Jimmy ever.
The best part was, how old are your boys?
How old are your boys? The best funny. 48. It's like, Jesus, how old are you, man?
No, these are my loser friends, not my children.
And then he was like, oh, come on, boys. That was awesome.
That was fantastic.
The interview didn't end.
Get with the program. He
Far
said.
And just throwing our insiders under the bus. The number one insider. Drager is not going to be happy with that.
Drager cannot be happy.
Maybe you
about
should have said
that.
NFL.
But Schefter was awesome.
Your Honor. I don't know if did you guys watch
I've never
season one at
seen.
least?
What's it on? Is that like
We've got
a?
on Crave.
It's on Crave.
Oh, it's on Crave? It's not like
on,
a-
Is it FX or Showtime? It might be Showtime.
Showtime? Okay. I think he said Showtime.
Yeah, so it's definitely on Crave. I watched the first season. I liked it. Actually, it looks like season 1 ends and that's it for the series. It looks like one of those short run things. And they brought it back, I guess, because of the popularity. I don't know if I share his enthusiasm. Parts of the stories now feel rushed a bit and stuff. So we'll see how it ends up.
Was it like a
Bryan
judge?
Cranston's amazing.
Is
in it.
it-
Yeah, he's a judge. Basically, the season 1 is his son is driving down the road. He drops his asthma inhaler and he's having an asthma attack. As he's trying to reach for it, he veers to the middle of the road and kills someone.
Oh wow.
And the kid that he kills basically ends up being like a mobster's son.
Oh.
So as he's about to turn himself in, his father, who is a judge, opts not
Okay,
to. And
okay.
the whole thing plays itself.
Oh, wow.
Don't say any more
It
than that.
actually sounds pretty good.
That's
really
a great
good.
premise. That's a great premise.
It is a really good premise. Season 1 has maybe 1 or 2 hiccups, but it's overall it's a very solid.
I'm gonna
season.
watch that before I watch White Lotus.
Yeah, you very much should.
I'll tell you what,
Very
Bryan
much should.
Cranston has what a run. I mean, I first saw him as Dr. Tim Watley on Seinfeld.
Yeah, he was great.
And he was great in that. And
Anti-dentite.
Yeah.
A lot of people got their start on Seinfeld, like
Yeah.
White
Big time.
Lotus,
Big time.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
and also the guy. Well, I guess you probably maybe haven't seen it yet. Her co-star in both seasons, the guy she's with, he was on Seinfeld as well. A lot
Really?
of people don't know. Do you remember he's also Uncle Rico in the Napoleon Dynamite
Okay.
movies? But in Seinfeld, he's the homeless guy that Kramer gives Tupperware to.
Oh, where
and
am
then
I
he ends
going?
up with the wig.
Yes. You gonna
That's
be here
him.
later? Hey, where am I going? That's hilarious.
That's
I've got to
him.
look at that
So,
again. That's amazing. But Cranston, and then of course Breaking Bad. I've never seen Breaking Bad. I've got to watch.
I haven't watched it either.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's a head turner.
I watched the first episode of Breaking Bad, and it did seem pretty good. Problem is, Tanya has no interest in it, and so now that becomes a day watching show and stuff. And I just have to buckle in. And,
Do you like the shows though? Sometimes that she doesn't want to watch because you can go off on your own, or is it more like
problem for me, it's just finding not that I don't have the time, but like at night we're either watching shows together or I'm watching sports, and so then that basically just leaves like during the day. And when the kids are at school, and then that's just like...
That's Puffy's alone time.
That's alone time.
That's it, baby.
I like to watch other things sometimes.
Oh, sorry.
Cue the music. All right, before we get out of here, boys.
Yep.
Any predictions for the big game?
Well, 37-34 Eagles.
I can't go wrong at this point.
I'm not even... Well, I mean, it'll depend on who... As an Eagles fan, you've watched them all year. Do you feel they can win this game? Like, do you feel like that they're going to match up well with Kansas City?
Absolutely. I think they're the more complete team in the matchup.
Yeah.
The one major, not to take anything away from Jalen Hurts, obviously Patrick Mahomes is just a different type of player in general.
Like, do you think Hurts will rise to the occasion, or
yes,
do you think
I'm not really worried about that.
That's good.
I think he's proved like there's a maturity about him. There's the preparation. There's the hard work. I think he's
played in national championships, which
done it.
aren't Super Bowls, but they're still a big deal.
He's dealt with drama here and there.
Yeah.
I think he he's very sound up here mind wise, and so I don't expect him to have issues. Like KC, especially, I don't know if they're playing from behind or whatnot, but that offense is always something you got to worry about. Eagles have one of the best defenses against the pass. Still, when you have Mahomes running around there, ankle or not, he's going to be
I don't know if
2
he's
weeks
100,
fresher.
but
But when it comes down to having to do something, I think he'll be able to.
And
pull some magic
they'll put the shot in him or whatever.
They'll put the shot in him.
He won't feel a thing.
He's also able to throw it off of basically no legs or anything. So it's always going to be a problem. There's the fear of them in the game. I just feel the Eagles, when you have one of the best offensive lines and defensive lines, you become a hard team to beat. And they're just pretty well-rounded everywhere else.
It's interesting just because it's two teams that have both won Super Bowls recently, and they're two good fan bases, and it'll be a huge deal for whoever wins it to get that second recent one. Like Mahomes all of a sudden starts entering another level of being a 2-time champion. The Eagles, start being like, oh, this may be a better organization than they've been given credit for. Well, it's a big game for either organization.
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't. For me, I don't have a horse in the race. I mean, obviously, I'd like to see you, Stoff as an Eagles fan, be rewarded with that championship. I do feel like the Eagles are going to win. I just feel like they're a little bit more of a team of destiny, and I just feel like for one reason or another, they're going to get it done. As you say, they're probably the more complete team. Stoff, I would agree with that. And like I said, just something about them that appeals to me.
Go Eagles!
I hope it's
fly
a great
Eagles,
game.
fly.
And I predict that Rihanna will start the set with "Please Don't Stop the Music."
Oh, okay, that'd be a pretty good start.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see. For me,
Ends it
that's
with
a good one.
Umbrella.
See, I thought
rain
Run This
pouring
Town
down.
might be.
Oh, Jay-Z
I
pops
feel like
out.
Run This Town will definitely at some point.
You think he's going to be a guest? Show up?
Well, Rock Nation is who organizes the halftime show,
Yeah,
right? They've
yeah.
done for the past couple of years. and
Yeah,
this year
they
as
took
well,
it over, so I could see him
It wouldn't be
popping
a
out.
big thing for him to do it.
Do you think
Yeah.
there'll be more guests than that?
There's usually two or three. Yeah. there's
However,
usually-
we did this bet for the weekend one.
Yeah.
and there was
And
nobody.
There wasn't, but that was a pandemic year.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
So maybe with no quote unquote social distancing.
Hope it's
We
good.
get Jay out there. And for me, I'm thinking Eagles. Like, I'll tell you this much. I'm more confident heading into this one than I was the last one against New England.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one obviously had just a vibe of losing to New England before
Yeah, of
and
course.
stuff. And I guess winning it a couple years ago, you're still kind of filled with this thing where it's not as,
You're not
live
as
or
desperate.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
there's
how.
still something like you want that. You want to keep on
course.
going. You want
Well,
to keep winning. But I just think they're in a slightly better spot to do it. They're up against a phenomenal coach, a great offense. But I think all in all,
How do Eagles fans feel about Andy Reid?
Love him.
They still love him, eh? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was super happy for him when he won his
Yeah.
first Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
He did great things for the organization. I think the only drawbacks with him in the end were fourth down management and clock management on certain plays, and he also improved that once he went to KC.
He did.
So, yeah, man.
I hope it's a good game.
All the good to him.
I
but,
hope it's a good game, too. I'm looking forward to it.
Go Eagles, 37-34.
All right.
Well, once they're down by 11 at halftime, we're laughing. buddy.
it's gonna then. If I was the NFL, I'd be making sure that doesn't happen. It's gonna.
Someone's going for two at the end.
Yeah, it's like you got to make sure this doesn't come up this way.
Well, some great predictions from us, but to go for the prediction that matters.
Yes.
I believe, I have no reason to actually know this, but
Yeah.
I believe Jimmy is standing by with Luke Willson.
With my friend Luke Willson, star of Jay's show, star of SportsCenter, star of a lot of FanDuel stuff on the network, and now star of our Super Bowl coverage here. First of all, I say this, I'm not trying to suck up just because we started interviewing, but you've done an awesome job all year, and it's great to finally work with you here again at the Super Bowl.
I appreciate that. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, Duffy, but I've been trying hard. I'm trying to stay authentic, maybe a little different perspective, but I appreciate that.
You bought me dinner last night, and I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. I mean, I knew you'd played some hockey before, but I didn't know that football was never your sport, that, in fact, football was your third sport, and you had your sights set on the NHL and maybe feel like you got robbed a little bit. Can you tell me that story?
Robbed is an understatement. To this day, I still wonder. I don't want to make it sound like I was a child star, but I was a pretty good hockey player.
And you're 6'5",
Yeah.
big center.
And I felt like, character wasn't an issue, I mean, I never saw the 16-year-old OHL reports, but I'd be surprised if that was on there. Played forward on the AAA teams, usually captain or assistant captain in most of them, and we actually were pretty good.
This is in Windsor area, right?
Yeah, Windsor, Ontario. London had Kadri was their best player, and they had a lot of other kids at that age who were very good. I think they were the best team in our league. And after that was Brantford, led by Adam Henrique. And again, so we were there was a bunch of us that were close. We never really got over the hump, but Zach Cassian played on our team. We had another NHLer in Dalton Prout. We were a pretty good squad. And, as a kid growing up in LaSalle, it was, hey, I'm going to go to the NHL. That's my dream. That's my goal. And then the OHL draft came around, and it was the worst day of my life.
You thought you were going to go fairly early, right?
Yeah,
This is the Stamkos year, by the way, you heard Kadri and Henrique, but Stamkos' OHL draft year.
Yes, and I figured, hey, I'd be like, maybe I knew I wouldn't be a top, 3-round guy, but in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably be a mid-round guy. Someone will take a flyer on me. I thought potentially they might want to move me to defense, but I'd scored a decent amount of goals, believe it or not, and obviously at 6'5", probably 240. Like I could, be a little rough, I would say. I was a big dump and chase forward. Willing to work hard, etc. And then all of a sudden, I remember I was sitting on my parents' room. That's where our computer was. And this would have been, I guess, 05, 06, somewhere in there. And I remember, with the big box computer, and I just keep clicking refresh. And I'm, got my phone next to me, and I'm, all amped. Where am I going to end up? Where am I going to Kingston? And am I going here? Am I going there? And the rounds keep ticking down. And I'm this is bizarre, but, I'm pretty positive. So I'm it doesn't matter. If I get picked in the last round, I'll go in there, blow up camp and fight someone, try and score a couple goals and be good. And my name wasn't called. And to this day, it's the biggest mystery of my life. I mean, in the 15th round, I think no one's going to take a chance on this kid.
Did you get blackballed somehow? Did you ever wonder about that or inquire?
I have inquired, and nobody. I feel like nobody wants to just tell me the truth. But I do feel like there are the powers that be. Some of the rumors that I had heard was that if I had went to the OHL, I was immediately going to become a fighter, and that there were some local baseball and football coaches that were kind of begging people not to draft me. But I still don't know how that can be true. I mean, I get, and I do believe, specifically a baseball coach that was like, yo, this kid's got a legit shot. Please don't take him to the OHL. He'll be a better baseball player. Like, I can wrap my head around that, Duthie. I can. But I can't wrap my head around some scout that doesn't know this baseball coach being like, this guy might make our club better in 2 years. If he wants to play hockey over baseball, we're going to give him that shot. Like, who gets to decide? Crazy.
I got to do like a 30 for 30 and investigate this thing.
I would love to hear how it all went down.
But how can you be upset now when it turned you to football and you won a Super Bowl?
And that was, I remember we kind of mentioned this at the steakhouse last night, but then the next year, I was in the hockey wasteland where I was an underager. So a lot of the junior teams, which at the time, like, Duthie, it's crazy, but I remember trying out for a junior C team at 16, and it was the greatest tryout I've ever had in any sport. I'm like, I mean, not only everything just went well. You have the athletic weekend. I scored a bunch of goals. I was just laying people out. At the time when you're in LaSalle, junior C is a huge ordeal, which is kind of, not to disrespect junior C, but it's a little comical for me now. But I'm like, I'm going to make this team for sure. Like, after this tryout, I might be like the captain of this team at 16. I mean, it couldn't have gone better. And it turned out, I didn't even know this, but the coach had a connection with my dad and got him in the stands before I went in to see who made the final cut, and was like, your son's one of the best players on the ice, but I just found out he's 16 and I promised the spot away. So the midget major year, which I call the wasteland, I have to go back and play AAA.
It's like a tragedy.
It is a tragedy. This does not have a happy ending. And I go back and play AAA, and you got to be realistic with yourself, but I'm like, okay, I fell through the cracks last year or whatever. I'm going to have the greatest year of my life, and I'll get drafted the next year. In that season, again, I call it the wasteland because all the good guys who are in the OHL or playing junior somewhere. So what we would do is I would start most games playing forward, and that if we were up, a lot of times I would switch to defense for the third period, and was playing like a ton. I had a lot of fun that year. Again, we were pretty good, won a couple tournaments. I remember like the big like OHL scouted tournament. I think I got MVP of every single game that I played in.
Nothing.
I remember thinking to myself, I physically cannot do anymore. I mean, I'm in the
still
MVP
nothing.
of every game. Draft comes. I mean, no one even chatted about me. It wasn't even a thing. And I remember that summer I went to a football camp, and it was like I had spent a year now just like scratching my head wondering like what is going on with this hockey world. Why am I not getting a shot? And again, hadn't played football very seriously. Went into the first football camp. A guy from Rice University was there. He was from Louisiana, so he kind of had that like Bayou accent. And about 3 weeks later, he's like, son, we're offering you a full ride scholarship to Rice University to play football. And I remember thinking to myself, dude, I need to quit this hockey stuff. All I got to do is show up to play football. These guys actually are seeing what I'm thinking. But it was weird. I know it's getting long-winded here, but I felt, as a 16, 17-year-old, I felt like I was delusional, because there was a guy that was a junior B legend, and his name was DJ Turner, and he led the whole area in points every year, and he was an incredible hockey player. And I was on his line, so that obviously helped. But it was like DJ always led that whole county in points, and I was usually number 2. We were on the same line. He was a shorter center, really, like I said, a great playmaker, did everything on the ice. I could bury, some of the garbage, could also shoot the puck okay. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, so they don't want me as a goal scorer. I can get behind that. But it's like, now I'll play defense. And like the next year I'm playing defense, and like I thought playing pretty well on defense. Like maybe someone would be like, hey, this, again, even a flyer in like the 12th round.
Okay, so we have this thing on our pod called Puffy's Hypotheticals, where our boy Puffy asks a question. You're going to give up your Super Bowl ring. You're going to give up everything you've got in the NFL, and I'm going to tell you that you do get drafted in the NHL, and you play You have a 7-year career, no Stanley Cup, make decent money, but are a plugger. Will you take that right now?
No, I loved my time in the
Win
NFL.
a Stanley Cup now.
I would still take the NFL route. But now I will say, if you would have asked me that at the time, I would have went NHL. But I have come out of the NFL after 8 years very, very healthy.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me. Like if I were sitting here with struggling to walk with a knee or whatever, I've got a bit of a banged up shoulder, but I think the head's still screwed on straight. The knees and the lower body's good. So knowing what I know now, definitely not. But it's still like, I'm sure you could help me out. I would love to know what the truth was.
I'm telling you, I'm doing a full doc. I'm doing a full doc on it.
Was I actually trash at hockey? Again, if I'm not a first rounder, Duthie, I can be okay. I'm not there. But the idea that I wouldn't have been at least scooped up in the 10th round was a very tough pill to swallow.
And you and I talked about there's the odd idiot who doesn't like your hair, like on Twitter. You didn't have the hair back then, so it couldn't have been like old school hockey guys not liking your hair, right?
I had the traditional hockey hair, just
doesn't
a
make
little.
any sense.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. I'll finish with this one. Was I remember, like, again, thinking to myself, like, as you're watching, and I had a couple teammates get drafted and guys in my league, and just thinking, like, have I just been lying to myself for my entire life? Like, what has occurred where no one on planet Earth would think, like, hey, this kid is probably going to play in the OHL.
It's crazy that somebody wouldn't take a flyer, like, just
it was
weird. But hey, football's gain, Seahawks gain, now TSN's gain, and we greatly appreciate you coming on. We didn't even talk about Super Bowl stories. We'll have you on again sometime, all right?
It sounds like a plan.
Thanks, buddy.
Wow.
What an interview.
I didn't think they'd say that.
I did not see him saying that.
Blown away.
I cut out most of Jimmy's controversial takes. But
Yeah.
I had to leave some of that.
I love that guy.
was
Luke Wilson, I've really
phenomenal.
come to enjoy him as an analyst.
He's done a great job. He really has.
He seems he's gotten more comfortable. He goes on. I particularly love him with Jay.
Yeah, they're very good together.
Great with Jay, great with Overdrive, great in general. And we're hoping for a great game this weekend. Jimmy's going to be there if he doesn't skip out for the golf.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he brings me back some more confetti like he did last time.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a thoughtful guy that way.
Maybe one of those security vests he stole last time.
Yeah.
I brought you a shirt too.
That's probably, yes, you did.
Yes.
Very nice.
All proudly displayed in my office. So.
Are you going to take that shirt off between now and for folks listening? Soft is dressed in his Eagles jersey.
We got a couple of days to go here, so I will shower at some point.
Okay.
I can guarantee you that. But other than that, not for much. No, this is
fair enough.
This is why you get the jersey.
What's your Super Bowl plan with your team in it? Like, are you watching it on your own?
I'm watching it at home. In general, I watch the Super Bowl at home. I don't like Super Bowl parties.
Yeah.
I'm into the game, so
Yeah.
I don't really care for all that. And even more so with my own team.
Yeah.
There's no way I want anyone yapping in my ear.
Yeah, I watched the Seahawks won the first one. I think I did go to a bar.
Now that's the first one they won, or was that the
first
one
they
where
won.
they got screwed, basically?
The one that the second one, Tanya was at. She was at the game, and
that was the Steelers, right?
No, the first one they killed. Who I can't even remember now. Broncos. Smoked the Broncos, and then
I'm talking about the one they lost.
Steelers, yeah,
about
that
a
one.
decade before.
Well, that one, I watched at a bar for sure. But I always have a rule, I'm watching the game, so don't bother me.
But just to take it back to that one, because I think there's a bit of correlation with Cincinnati Bengals fans. Like, how did you feel as a Seahawks fan after that game?
I was pissed off, yeah, because
Did you think it was fixed?
Not
or
fixed. I just felt there was bad officiating. Yeah. I didn't think that there was some kind of because that was the one Jerome Bettis and it was in Detroit.
Yeah,
and it was like the whole.
They were called the Bettistown, I believe, or something like that.
I didn't know. I've never bought into this fixed, but definitely there was blown hold calls, and it was that happens every game.
I definitely do think the NFL is fixed to a certain degree.
We do, eh?
To a degree, as in making it because I think
I still think that stay quiet. Somebody would leak it.
I think sports is fixed in this way. The way in the NBA, they'll call certain things and won't. And in the NFL, how it's much more favored towards offensive players.
Yeah.
But in terms of wanting outcomes and getting those outcomes, I don't know about that. I just think, to Puffy's point, it's so hard to keep a secret.
Yeah.
Someone would squeal and it would just be all out in the open. And once it's in the open, it'd be
You're
so
done.
damaging.
You're done.
For the league.
If somebody says to a punter, we'll give you $100 million, or a field goal kicker $100 million to miss.
Yeah.
That stuff is different, though. I'm talking more about a league.
Yes.
No, I don't think I never thought.
So
the
you're
league.
saying
I'm talking
a
organized
book
crime.
or
Organized
whatever.
crime. Okay, I could.
I'm talking organized
But even
crime.
at this level, it's a lot harder because
It's
this
harder.
is something that's more. You can see it in soccer where the lower leagues have a huge problem with it.
Yeah.
And the higher up you go, but there is still stuff like
Well, guys,
corner kicks.
Yeah.
Like a defenseman will just kick it behind the net rather than.
Well, like I heard a story. A guy played for Arsenal, and he was saying that like they made a bet the first play of the game would be a throw-in, and they had the ball to start it. So basically, he passed it. His buddy, it was him and his buddy were in on it. So he passed it back to him, and then he's just gonna kick it out of bounds, like trying to do a long pass.
Yeah, make it look like it's a long.
He went short, and it stayed in. And he said, "I ran my ass off to get that ball back."
Wow.
Because he was like freaking out because there was big money on it. But those were guys playing at the top level and making big money at the time. But that's where the fixing, the match fixing about wins and losses is gone. Guys won't do that. But what they will do is the stuff that doesn't really the prop bet stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, still pretty unfortunate.
Yes,
with
it
that,
is.
But
it is.
What can you do?
Great episode, voice. Great episode.
Oh yeah.
And now we wait to crown the Eagles the champions.
Oh
my
and
God.
we will be back here next week.
Well, next week we're doing one.
I think
I'm taking a break.
It's a weekly thing now. We'll be back. No bump since he turned us down.
Yeah, bump's out.
He's out.
But I believe Jimmy will be back. So get it going, and hopefully we'll talk some White Lotus.
Gonna have to watch that.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
Hey, how are you? I got a question that I really want to ask you. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up. Please. Somebody. Hey? Anyone?